Hello, my Shepherd Youth friends. We are doing something today that we're calling Words with Dusty. And I want to tell you about one word in the Bible today. It's found in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And it's actually two words in English. But as most of you know, the Bible wasn't written in English. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew. But the New Testament, where Romans 8:28 is found, it was written in ancient Greek. And one of the Greek words in this verse is one of my favorites. And you probably know this verse. It's super popular because it's super powerful. But I think when we unlock this one word, it gets even better. So let me read you the verse in English. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. It says, "We know that God works together all things for good to those who love God," or to those who love and obey him, because Jesus defines loving God as obeying him. Okay, but first, God working all things together for good, it does not mean that God causes everything to happen, including any of the bad things in your life. It doesn't mean that as long as you love and obey God, that he'll make all the bad things go away or never happen in the first place. The truth is something far more mysterious. This English phrase, work together or works together, it's actually one Greek word, the word synergeo. All right, it's where we get the English word synergy. Now, here's what synergy means. It says, the definition says, the interaction of elements that when combined, so you got all these little individual things, when you combine them, their total effect is greater than the sum of their individual parts. So in other words, if you have a lot of different things, they each have power or something to them individually, but when you put them together, it's even more powerful. That's synergy. The synergy is the putting these elements together. And Paul in Romans chapter 8, he's been talking about suffering, right? Because possibly the truest and most common thing about being human is that we all suffer. And this working together, the synergy for good, is God's power injected into the lives of those who love and obey him. So let me give it to you as a picture here. I have this wall art that hangs in our bathroom, in one of our bathrooms at home. And I want you to think about this as like all the pieces of your life, right? You've got some things that have happened to you that weren't your fault. You didn't choose it, but it was a bad thing. It was an unfair thing. It was something, maybe this was something that was handed to you, something you didn't choose, but maybe over here is some consequences to some things you did choose. But also within this are the things that you're really good at and some beautiful things that have happened to you, some grace in your life. All of these things together, God synergizes all of it to bring something beautiful and good from it. Because individually, it is something, it says something, it does something, but together, through God's power, he synergizes it for something good. That's what that word means, that God synergizes it all. And this is something of what God does through his working together all things for the good. He brings something beautiful from it. Now, this doesn't mean that our pain and our difficulties are erased and gone. It doesn't mean that we'll never suffer again. But for those who love and obey Jesus, God works together. He synergizes all of those pieces in our lives for something good. Now, this same word for synergy, it's also used again by James in James chapter 2, verse 22, when James is telling us that if our faith in Christ isn't combined, worked together, synergized with actions, with choices, then our faith is dead. Here's what it says. Faith and actions synergize, they work together, and our faith is made complete by how we live it out. God's synergy is set forth in the lives of those who love and obey God, so that ultimately, no matter what happens, good can come out of it. And because we have God's power in our lives, our faith, our trust in Jesus, it synergizes with our actions, our choices, and this puts good into the world. I also love that the same Greek word, and this is the last one, the same word for synergy is used again in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. It says, we are God's co-workers, his partners. It's the same synergy word here. So here's what you got. Romans 8:28. God synergizes for our good, just like the picture. He synergizes all the pieces of our lives for something good. In James chapter 2, verse 22, we synergize our faith with our actions so that we can put good into the world. And then 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1, it says we partner with God. We are his co-synergizers. So the synergy of God, Romans 8:28, James 2:22, and 2 Corinthians 6:1. Check those out this week. Read them. I hope this has been helpful. And that, my friends, is Words with Dusty. So go and synergize some goodness in the world. I love you all. Peace out.